Have you ever caught yourself wondering how long you might really have left, like really left, not in a sad or morbid way, but in a curious, honest one? Maybe you've been sitting with your morning coffee, looking out the window, and suddenly you start thinking about your future. Not just in years, but in quality. How well you'll be moving. How clear your mind will be. Whether you'll still be driving, gardening, laughing with friends, chasing after grandkids or great-grandkids. If that sounds like a familiar thought, you're not alone. It's a question more and more people over 70 are starting to ask. And here's the good news, science is starting to give us some pretty clear answers. Now, of course, no one can predict the exact moment the curtain falls. But what if I told you there are certain signs, small, everyday indicators, that can quietly suggest how long you might live? And I'm not talking about reading tea leaves or flipping tarot cards. I'm talking about real, research-backed patterns that doctors and scientists have noticed in people who live well into their 80s, 90s, and beyond. That's what we're diving into today. We're going to explore 7 powerful signs that can offer clues about your health and longevity after 70. Some of these might surprise you. Others might confirm something you've quietly felt for a while. Either way, by the end of this video, you'll not only understand what these signs are, but you'll also know what you can do about them, starting today. Because this isn't just about years on a calendar. It's about life in your years. So let's start with a simple but surprisingly powerful sign, your walking speed. Think about the last time you walked through the grocery store or strolled to the mailbox. Did you move with purpose, or did you feel yourself slowing down, maybe shuffling a little, needing to pause? Researchers have found that walking speed after age 70 is one of the strongest indicators of overall health and life expectancy. In fact, they've even dubbed it the 6th vital sign. Why? Because how fast you walk reflects so many things happening under the surface: your muscle strength, balance, heart health, brain function, and even your motivation. If your walking pace is slowing significantly, it could signal that something deeper is going on, even before obvious symptoms show up. But here's the beautiful part, you can improve it. Simply walking a bit more each day, focusing on posture, taking slightly longer strides, and even doing a few leg strengthening exercises like mini squats or heel raises while brushing your teeth, it all adds up. You don't need a gym. You don't even need a full hour. You just need consistency. Now let's talk about another sign, and this one comes from a place many people try to ignore: your sense of purpose. Yes, believe it or not, the way you wake up in the morning and what you look forward to doing that day plays a big role in how long you'll live. In studies of people over 70, those with a strong sense of purpose, whether it was gardening, volunteering, mentoring, creating art, or just staying connected with loved ones, lived significantly longer than those who didn't. Why? Purpose keeps the mind active, keeps the spirit engaged, and gives you a reason to take care of yourself. It's like fuel for the soul. You might be thinking, well, I'm retired. I've done my part. And yes, you absolutely have. But purpose doesn't retire. It just shifts. Maybe now it's about calling a neighbor each week to check in. Maybe it's teaching your grandkids a skill no one else knows. Maybe it's picking up a paintbrush for the first time in decades. Whatever lights that little spark inside you, that's your purpose. And if you're not sure what that is right now, that's okay. Just start with curiosity. Try something new, or reconnect with something old that used to bring you joy. And speaking of joy, here's another subtle but telling sign: how often you laugh. This one might sound a little silly at first, but bear with me. Researchers have been looking closely at emotional well-being and how it ties to longevity. People who laugh regularly, who find lightness even in tough times, tend to have lower blood pressure, stronger immune systems, and better heart health. Laughter literally relaxes the entire body, relieves stress, and helps release those feel-good chemicals in the brain. And yes, it's contagious in the best way. You don't have to be the life of the party or a stand-up comedian. But think about what makes you chuckle. Maybe it's a favorite old TV show, a funny story from your childhood, or those quirky little habits your spouse still hasn't shaken after 40 years. Invite more of that into your day. Don't let the heaviness of the news or the aches in your back be the only soundtrack. A little laughter goes a long, long way. So here we are, 3 signs already, and you can probably tell, none of them are about expensive tests or complicated routines. They're about how you move, how you feel, and how you engage with life. That's what this journey is really about. Not chasing youth, but embracing vitality on your own terms. Now that we've talked about walking speed, sense of purpose, and the power of laughter, let's keep going. Because there's another sign that might just be hiding in your kitchen. Or more accurately, on your plate. Your daily eating habits, what you reach for at breakfast, how you plate your lunch, whether you're snacking on fresh fruit or the cookie tin, can quietly tell a lot about your long-term health. Not just in terms of weight or blood sugar, but in how your body ages, fights off illness, and stays energized. Now, you don't need to be on some extreme diet, and no one's asking you to count every calorie. But patterns matter. One of the clearest signs researchers have found is a consistent intake of whole, nutrient-rich foods. Seniors who regularly eat leafy greens, colorful vegetables, beans, nuts, olive oil, berries, and fish, especially fatty fish like salmon or sardines, tend to live longer and stay sharper. These are all staples of what's often called the Mediterranean diet, though you don't need to move to Greece to benefit from it. And here's the best part. This kind of eating isn't just about living longer, it's about feeling better today. People often report clearer thinking, steadier moods, better sleep, and fewer aches just from making small adjustments. Maybe it's switching out white bread for whole grain. Maybe it's adding spinach to your eggs, or trading out that can of soda for a glass of water with lemon. Think of food not just as fuel, but as information. Every bite you take is like a little message telling your body how to function. And when you start sending it the right messages, your body listens even after 70, even after years of not so great habits. It's never too late to change course. Truly. Now, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention, especially in this stage of life: how well you sleep. It's easy to brush off sleep changes as just a part of getting older. You might wake up earlier than you used to, or struggle to fall asleep after a 2 a.m. bathroom trip. And while some shifts are natural, poor quality sleep over time is more than just a nuisance, it can be a real red flag. Studies have shown that people over 70 who regularly get fewer than 6 hours of quality sleep per night are at a higher risk for memory decline, heart disease, and even early mortality. It's not just about how long you sleep, but how restful that sleep is. Do you wake up feeling like you actually slept? Or do you feel groggy and off balance? The good news? There's a lot you can do. Avoiding caffeine late in the day, dimming the lights in the evening, keeping screens out of the bedroom, these small shifts make a big difference. And here's a simple trick: before bed, write down 1 or 2 things you're grateful for. It might sound corny, but practicing gratitude helps calm the mind and ease you into a deeper, more peaceful rest. Now, let me ask you something a little more personal. When was the last time you had a real, heart-to-heart conversation with someone? Not just a quick "how are you," but a meaningful exchange, a shared laugh, an old memory, maybe even a few tears? That brings us to another subtle but incredibly important sign: the strength of your social connections. People who maintain close relationships, friends, family, neighbors, even pets, tend to live longer, healthier lives. And it's not just because they have people to help them in emergencies. It's deeper than that. Regular social interaction supports emotional health, reduces stress hormones, and even strengthens your immune system. It keeps your mind active and your heart open. If you've found yourself pulling back lately, maybe after losing someone close or just drifting apart from friends, it's understandable. But you don't have to stay in that place. Reach out. Call someone you haven't talked to in a while. Join a local club, a walking group, or a community class. Even a short chat at the grocery store can lift your mood more than you realize. And if you're someone who prefers solitude, that's okay too. The key is meaningful connection. It doesn't need to be daily or loud. It just needs to be real. When we think about aging well, we often imagine things like exercise, diet, or doctor's visits, and those are all important. But emotional well-being, social bonds, and a good night's sleep? Those might just be the glue that holds everything else together. So far, we've covered a lot: how you walk, what you eat, how well you sleep, your relationships, your sense of purpose. And if you're thinking, wow, that's a lot to manage, take a deep breath. No one expects perfection. This is about noticing the signals your body and life are giving you. It's about tuning in, gently and honestly, and saying, okay, I see where I am. Now what can I do today to move in a better direction? That mindset alone, being willing to check in with yourself, to grow, to care about your future, might be the most powerful sign of all. But there's still more we can learn. Because one of the most powerful predictors of long life after 70 isn't just about what's going on around you, it's about how you respond to it. Change is constant, especially as we age. Our bodies change, our roles shift, people come and go, and the world doesn't stop moving just because we want it to. But how we adapt, how we cope, how we bounce back, that's where real resilience lies. And that resilience is a quiet, steady sign of long life. Let's be honest, getting older isn't always easy. There are losses, aches, frustrations. But those who are able to keep a sense of flexibility, humor, and grace during life's curveballs tend to live longer and live better. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about allowing yourself to feel what you feel and still choosing to move forward. You can cultivate that, too. One small way to start is by learning something new. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe you try a new recipe, pick up a puzzle, or ask your grandkids to show you how to use a phone app. Keep your brain a little uncomfortable in a good way. Your mind is like a muscle, it stays strong by being challenged gently and consistently. Speaking of staying strong, let's talk about the final sign. And this one might surprise you, because it's something most people don't notice until it's gone. It's your ability to get up from a chair without using your hands. Sounds simple, right? But your ability to rise from a seated position using only your legs is actually one of the clearest physical indicators of balance, leg strength, and coordination, all critical for maintaining independence as you age. In fact, there's even a test researchers use where they observe how well someone can sit down on the floor and get back up without assistance. Those who can do it with control and minimal support tend to have better overall longevity. Start small. You can build strength gradually, even just by standing up and sitting down from a sturdy chair 10 times a day. Use the armrests at first if you need to, but aim to reduce that over time. Add in a few leg lifts while brushing your teeth or standing at the counter. The goal isn't to reverse aging, it's to support aging with grace and strength, so you can keep doing what you love for as long as possible. Now, let's take a breath and pull back for a moment. We've talked about signs, your walking speed, sense of purpose, what's on your plate, how you sleep, your relationships, your resilience, your body strength. And through all of this, there's one common thread: awareness. The simple, quiet act of paying attention. Not just to symptoms, but to your spirit. To your routines. To the way your days feel. Because it's never really been about predicting a number, has it? It's about feeling alive in the years you do have. And let me tell you something important: it's not too late. No matter what shape you're in, no matter what your past looks like, today can be the day you start making little choices that support a longer, more vibrant life. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to change everything. But you can decide to care a little more. To walk a little farther. To laugh a little louder. To eat a little cleaner. To call someone you've been missing. To stretch your legs and your mind. To rest when you need to and move when you can. Because you're not done. You are not finished growing. You still matter. Your story still has chapters to write, even now, especially now. So if you're sitting there wondering, how long will I live after 70, maybe the better question is, How fully can I live, starting today? And I want to hear from you. What's one sign you've noticed in your own life that tells you you're still thriving? Or maybe something you're ready to improve? Share it in the comments, I read every one. Let's support each other, learn from each other, and remind one another that aging is not a decline, it's a continuation. A deepening. A chance to live with even more intention. If you found this helpful, give the video a like. It lets me know this message matters. And if you want more inspiration, practical tips, and warm, honest conversations about living well after 60, go ahead and subscribe. There's so much more we're going to explore together. Here's to living your best life at 70, at 80, at 90, and beyond. Because the truth is, your best days aren't behind you. They're right here. Still unfolding. Still full of life. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next video.